Heading into the final round of the ProVelo Super League, Sophie Ma was in the lead, 73 points ahead of her teammate Talia Appleton. By the end of the tour, though, the gap was only 13 points. Was this planned? Maybe. Let's have a look and see what went down in that final round. Welcome back to the Homegrown Advantage, where we analyse domestic racing here in Australia. Today, we're looking at the last round of the ProVelo Super League, the Q Tour up in Queensland. We've got 4 stages across 3 days. The double day is a time trial and then a road race / kermesse for stages 2 and 3. We started things off with the South Bank Crit. That was under lights. It was a pretty amazing atmosphere here with, I reckon, a couple of thousand people along the course watching throughout. There was some great on-bike footage as well throughout the live stream, showing everyone whipping through the course. Everyone here, they were keeping an eye on the big 3, Sophie Ma, Keely Bennett, and Odette Lynch. Coming into the final laps as well, it looked status quo. We were going to see these 3 duke it out for the stage win. This final corner, though, it came with about 150 to 200 meters to go. This was decisive. Around that final bend here, you've got Odette Lynch second wheel, and she's sitting behind her teammate Sophie Edwards. I think this is Gina Ricciardo here from the Praddy's team finishing her lead out into that final turn, and you'll see in a second she rolls wide, which normally would be the right thing to do, but unfortunately for her, I think that Sophie Ma is going around her on the right-hand side, causes Ma to have to brake a little bit, lose that momentum, and it just rules her out of the sprint here, just like that. After the corner with about 150 meters to go, Edwards rolls off and Lynch goes around to the left-hand side to launch her sprint, and it was a perfect run for her. Keely Bennett was a little bit too far back around that final corner, couldn't make up the ground to challenge Odette Lynch here. Her teammate Lauren Bates was the closest to Lynch, but she's just not quite fast enough to challenge when Lynch gets a really clean run like that. And so Odette Lynch, she took a very well-earned win here in stage 1 off the back of an excellent lead out from her teammate Sophie Edwards. Stage 2 is a time trial at 8.6 Ks long. Could be decisive for the GC, and there was a lot of focus on this one from Talia Appleton, Ali Anderson, other time trial specialists, along with some of the all-rounders who are going to be going for a good GC placing here. Under 23 national champ Ali Anderson was a favourite coming into this stage, and she put down a very quick time across the line as the fastest with only a few riders left to go. Lauren Bates here as well was looking very focused, and I thought she actually looked the quickest going around this U-turn at the bottom, carrying good speed through the exit, and she ended up taking the win here by 4 seconds over Ali Anderson, and that stepped her up into the GC lead. At this point, we hadn't seen too much action from the 2 riders at the top of the league standings overall, Sophie Ma and Talia Appleton. Appleton wasn't too happy with her TT, finishing in 9th place. Sophie Ma, she was in 6th, and as no one was really within striking distance of her except for her teammate Appleton, she didn't have too much to stress about at this point. Stage 3 was the afternoon after the time trial, and there were some tired bodies taking to the start line here. It was super hot, super humid. I think everyone just wanted to be down at the beach having a bit of a dip and some recovery. We didn't see too much aggression as a result of that, except for the bonus sprints, which Sophie Ma absolutely cleaned up. The final sprint, it was a pretty close one as well. They came off a downhill run into a tailwind sprint, which makes positioning extremely important as it's so hard to pass riders once they've launched in that tailwind. They just maintain so much speed. Sophie Ma, she delivered here. She took the win ahead of Lauren Bates. And with the bonus seconds there from the intermediates and on the finish, Sophie Ma closed the gap from 21 seconds to 11 seconds behind Lauren Bates and moved from 5th to 2nd on GC. She also picked up a few points for the stage win, and she was looking really good in the points classification there as well. Talia Appleton, interestingly, was 4th across the line. Crucially, that puts her in the top 5, so she earns a few ProVelo Super League points there as well. All of these little things accrue ProVelo Super League points, and they'll be very important in just a moment. You'll see. The final stage, though, this is where things get really interesting. They had 8 laps of the Moreton Bay Hinterland circuit before heading up towards the Campbell's Pocket hilltop finish. The final climb is really tough. It averages 10%, with most climbing sections in the mid-teens, which is super steep. The laps had 3 intermediate sprints and 3 QOM points, with both points classification points and QOM points on offer at the finish line. The way the points work, they're heavily weighted towards stage wins, as you'd expect over the intermediate sprints and QOMs. Because the final climb was the hardest categorized climb of the tour, it also carried the most points there. So if you win the stage, you could pick up a lot of points. It was going to be a really big bounty at the end there. Talia Appleton was very active early on, taking the first QOM and then also 2nd in the following sprint. So that earns her a few points in each of those classifications. Sophie Ma, she was back saving her legs for what was expected to be a really tough final climb so that she could put in a big finish, protect her GC as much as possible, as I was expecting her to lose a little bit of time on some of the pure, stronger climbers here in the field. Lauren Bates, she took out the 2nd intermediate sprint, again earning some bonus seconds trying to protect her GC lead there. And then we had a brief breakaway of 3, Abby McLean, Mia Williams, Clara Bell, but the 3 of them, they were reeled in before we started that final climb. On that last climb, the group instantly thinned out to the 6 riders you see here, and this was the dynamic. Lauren Bates, she was trying to stay at the front and win the GC, her main rival being Ali Anderson at 15 seconds. Sophie Ma was trying to stay close to the front to be high up in the GC and earn some points there. Ali Anderson, she was trying to get ahead of Bates and Ma and hang on to anybody else so that she could win the GC. And then Talia Appleton, she was trying to win the stage and then take any points on offer, both for the stage, GC, classifications, whatever she could get her hands on. Talia Appleton launched about halfway up and immediately distanced everyone. Anderson was the closest behind, and with Ali Anderson 20 seconds ahead of Talia Appleton on GC, she was looking really good at this point if she could stay reasonably close. Talia Appleton powered away. She took the stage win here, along with the bounty of points and mountain classification points on offer. And check out how spent she is here. Just keep an eye on her as the other riders come across the finish line. She just stays there next to the barrier. Ali Anderson took second across the line on the stage, and with enough of a gap there, she stepped over Bates and Ma to secure the GC win, while Sophie Ma came across the line 6th, taking 5th on GC, and then also the league overall title by just 13 points over her teammate Talia Appleton. Talia earned so many points here in the finish with the stage win, 2nd on GC, she won the mountains classification, and then she came 3rd in the points classification. So she very nearly closed that gap down to Sophie Ma at the end in the last possible moment, but she just came up short. It's good to see that friendly teammate versus teammate rivalry is still alive and well. Here's what Sophie Ma had to say after the finish.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so excited. Lost for words, everyone was like, oh, you've got this, like, you're basically your pen's in your hand. And I was like, guys, don't talk too soon. I was like, obviously the last stage was a big fight. Just lost words.
So Sophie Ma, she takes out the league overall to win the Factor Austro VAM, as well as the Jayco Under 23 category, which earns her a spot on the Liv AlUla Jayco Continental team for 2026. It's an incredible performance from her. She was very consistent throughout all of the rounds. Very well-deserved winner. Talia Appleton, also one of the super talents. I'm expecting big things from her as well. And that's it for the ProVelo Super League this year. It's been a cracking Australian season of racing. Thank you all for following along for all of my YouTube analysis and breakdowns. Hope you've enjoyed them. It's been incredibly fun making them, getting to know all of the riders, dissecting some of their amazing performances that we've seen throughout the season so far. I'm looking forward to following them for the rest of this season. I'll try and keep up to date with them as much as possible as they head over to Europe. Keep an eye out on the Homegrown Advantage podcast. That's where I'll try and have all of those updates there. Until next time, bye for now.